Hey everyone, welcome to my online workshop. Thank you so much for tuning in if you are here. Today we're going to be covering this soft, sultry makeup look you see here on the screen, so let's jump right in. I'm kicking things off by making sure there's no pre-makeup residue, any built up dirt or oil. This is the Kiko Milano Micellar Water. A toner will work just fine. This is just what we're using today. I'm following that up with the Olay Hydrating Essence Mist. Now typically I press an essence into the skin, but Olay has formulated into a spray bottle and I absolutely love it, and it makes the products that I apply after lay down and penetrate the skin a lot better and deeper. So we love that. This is a Ilia firming serum, just going to firm up the skin and hydrate it, getting it nice and plump for the makeup application. I love a nice hydrated, tacky feels to the, not tacky down, but tacky feel to the skin before I'm applying makeup. Moving on to eye cream. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Defy Gravity Eye Cream. I even like this for personal use. So for anyone who's looking for a eye cream for personal use as well, highly recommend this one. Alright, and in with the Chanel Micro Cream for moisturizer today. I like my clients to have a luxury feel to their skin prep and makeup application, so sometimes I'll go in with more of a luxury product to achieve that. Alright, and for eyes, this is the H Hazel. These are, excuse me, the H Hazel eye gels. I actually get mine from Ilia. You can purchase these right from their website. But I have this retailer Ilia that I love getting all my clean and beauty products from. And then in with some lip care. This is the Image Skincare Lip Complex. Now that right there is a game changer. Highly recommend that for any type of lip care that you want to do, even for personal use. That product right there is just literally a lifesaver. Highly recommend getting that. We're just working on brows now. This is the Kosas Brow Pencil. I love taking it easy on the brows, just kind of filling in where it's needed, but also giving a nice full brow for us to work with. Now, her brows are normally a lot fluffier than this. She has them tamed for the video tutorial, but always remember, try to get the client's preference for how they want their brows tamed. It's always good to just collaborate with your client to see what they prefer as well. But today we're doing a nice cleaned up brow, and I'm using the Kosas, followed by, I'm not sure what this other concealer is. That may be, yeah, I'm not sure. But I love mixing. Mixing is just absolutely key for me. It just helps me get that perfect match. Sorry about the noise in the background, you guys. Welcome to LA. But yeah, I just love mixing to get that perfect match. And also, while carving the brows, this also lets me see if I need to go a little bit lighter with the concealer or a little bit darker, because I typically mix concealers for the base as well. If I need to go in with more coverage, I'll use Kevyn Aucoin Central Skin Enhancers for more coverage, or I'll use the Too Faced Full Coverage Sculpting Concealers. I don't know, there's just something about concealers that I like more when it comes to building a base. Now, you can use just about anything in the world, but when you just, kind of get your zhuzh down, you start to see what works best for you, and I just love mixing concealers. So here we are, priming the lids with concealer as well, and we're going to set this with translucent powder before moving on to eyeshadow. And another tip, using your fingers to kind of warm up products also helps them melt into the skin and penetrate a lot easier. It helps them set as well, especially if you have a cream to matte product. Using fingers is absolutely top tier. Alright, and here we are setting the lids. This is definitely a pro tip as well. Please set your eyelids if you prime them with concealer. I know there's some eyeshadow primers that have that cream to matte dry down that I was just speaking of, but these do not, so we definitely want to make sure that we set them with a translucent powder. You can also set the brows as well. I believe this Kosas brow pencil is waterproof. I could be lying, you guys, don't believe me. But I don't typically have problems with the pencil budging or anything, so there we are. But here we are, I'm setting the brows with the Kosas brow gel, actually. Alright, moving on to eyeshadow. This is the Colored Rain Rebellious Nudes, one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes for, you could do soft to full glam with this, but you'll get a very natural soft to full glam with the shades. The shades are very complementary to looks that you'd want for a more natural approach, but elevated natural is what I like to call it, which is why I love this palette so much, because there's so much versatility to go from just an everyday natural look to an elevated natural look. So we'll see here. Today's going to be more of an elevated natural look, and I'm just using a few shades just to build up the crease before moving on to some of the deeper shades. But I'm just going to allow you guys to see the blend here for a little bit, and then I'll jump back on the voiceover. So as you can see, we're moving on to warmer shades just to create some more depth and impact within the crease, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and tap an even deeper shade onto her lid. I love, love, love doing smoky looks on eye shapes like these. They just, I don't know, they create such an impact and a depth. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I'm still working on my terminology when it comes to these voiceovers and describing makeup, but it's just, you see how rich, and I don't know, I just love how that looks. So going in with the Koki Cosmetics liner. This is a gel waterproof liner, so it's not going to budge or move. I've been using their eyeliners even for personal use for years. Absolutely phenomenal, extremely consistent with the formula, and I love, love, love how easy these are to apply. They just glide on to the eyes. Another pro tip, if you need to get into the creases of the eye, just lightly press on to the lower lid near the lash line, and this kind of lifts and creates a little bit of extra space for you. And then we're just running that through the upper lash line and the bottom as well. And if you have clients that have teary eyes, or if you just like to make sure, I highly recommend asking your clients if they have sensitive eyes. Do this before your base makeup, highlight, contour, all of that. You don't want to have to go back in and fix any of the work you've laid down. So if it's a good cream to, you know, waterproof eyeliner, it's going to stay. So you can definitely apply it before doing any of the base. Now going in with Kosas once again. I use Kosas a lot for complexion. I just love the overall consistency. I love how it looks on the skin. Kosas really showed out with their revealer concealer. So this is what you see me working into the under eye areas. And remember when I told you guys I like to know if I need to go a little bit brighter. So this is more, when I determined that we'll do the highlight shade a little bit brighter, and then we'll go in with the concealer shade. That priming of the lid, I don't know, I just really use that as a mapping to see what that base shade is going to be, and it's helped me for years. I don't know. Sometimes I look at the girls like, how do I get the skin to match so crazy? It's just so crazy to see how well the skin matches, excuse me, after the application. So highly recommend taking your time when it comes to just getting the complexion down. And as you can see here, I'm just working in my bronzer colors, my cream blush here as well. We're mixing a few shades, I believe a pinkier shade and then a warmer shade for her skin tone to give us the perfect blush shade. But I love using cream blush. This makes for the perfect addition to your complexion, and it just brings everything together, in my opinion. Alright, going in with a little bit more of a brighter concealer. Just because I'm honestly lazy, you guys. I don't like going in after, 3 and 4 times to do things. Like I like to mix, like I said, so I'm gonna lay it down, mix it, and blend it out. I don't need to do all of that. And it's easier. You work a little bit faster if you, oops, sorry. Got the cops and the sirens behind us. Oh my gosh, so ghetto. But I just feel like it's easier and you work a little bit faster when you have all your products laid down. And visually watching this all blend together is just so visually appealing. Like knowing you laid down the right shades for the perfect base and complexion is just absolutely phenomenal. So as an artist, watching this even in playback is very therapeutic. And practice makes perfect. You just got to keep practicing, and there's just something about priming the lids with that concealer, like I keep going back to. Just something about that technique that really helps me. Moving on to the cheek areas, we're using a stippling blending motion to tap in the coverage from the concealer we laid down as well as the blush, and I love just merging that together with that brush here. And then we're going in with a smaller, fluffier brush to set and make sure that nothing moves. Now I love using a pressed powder to set the under eyes first before going in with loose, and then we're going to go ahead and set the rest of the face with this pressed powder as well. This is from One Size Beauty, by the way. But yeah, I love setting the skin before moving on to any sort of baking or loose pressed powder. This just really helps get a nice smooth finish to the skin. I don't know, there's just something about pressed powder before loose powder that I absolutely love. I've seen some like TikToks and tutorials where they'll do the loose before and then the pressed powder after. I believe they go hand in hand and work perfect, but it just depends on you. Now we're going in with the Ben Nye Banana Light to bake a little bit underneath the eyes. This will also give us a little bit more of a brightening effect to the under eye. I know that's super popular with most girls, some guys too, in their glam. They just like that kind of blown out under eye effect. I love it as long as it's blended and it looks complementary to the glam we've created with the skin. If it just looks like we've, blown out the under eyes, I don't like that effect or look. It just takes away from the natural blend we've given the skin, and you don't want to take away from the work, all of that work you've done. You don't want that to go in vain. All right. So here we are setting the rest of the face with a translucent powder, and then we're going to move on to complexion. This is a MAC Cosmetics pressed powder. I believe this is NC 42 or 43, and this is also going to make sure that none of the makeup underneath budges, smudges, or moves. We want that complexion to stay in place. So this step right here is super important, and I'm using this smaller fluffy brush to get into all those creases and to just do a more detailed set for the makeup. Moving on to bronzer, this is the Colored Rain bronzer in the shade Cinnabe. Now we won't be doing a strong contour or anything like that today. We want to keep the skin nice and natural because we're not doing any sort of photo shoot, red carpet, or anything like that. So keeping the skin nice and natural. So we're just going to go in with bronzer and then two blush shades. I love mixing. Here we are again. Creams, powders, no matter what, I love to mix. These are two powder blushes from Kylie Cosmetics. I absolutely love their powder blushes for medium to fair skin tones, fair to medium. Love, love, love the shades they've created for my guys and girls there. And using that same brush I was using to set her makeup, to apply that blush as well. Now I do want to give the cheeks a little bit more of a structure, and this just helps everything, you know, come together, making sure that your cheeks are evened out. You guys see that leveling? That actually helps me with the lips. So just, you know, having that mapping of baking the cheeks, I don't know, something about it has always, excuse me guys, something about that has always helped me line and create, you know, symmetry within, you know, the lips. We're using MAC Cosmetics Chestnut to give her a nice 90s vibe on the lips, I guess you can say. This is a super, super popular lip pencil that, you know, some of the 90s girls and models incorporated into their makeup routines, and a lot of makeup artists would use as well. So I love, love, love incorporating those staple products into these modern looks. Definitely helps tie my vibe together and just, you know, some of the history of where all this comes from as well. So look at that nice pout. The pout is one of the most important, you know, areas for me when it comes to the lips. I feel like for girls this should be one of the most important, you know, focus points as well. It just, the pout and making sure that everything is symmetrical is just everything. In with the Anastasia Beverly Hills satin lipstick, one of my favorites to use. I truly believe this is a universal lipstick that could work on multiple skin tones if you're into the nude. If you're into the nude thing. If you're not, well, might not be for you, but for all my nude lovers, this satin lipstick is absolutely gorgeous. And I love how it blends not only into the lip liner but into the entire look seamlessly, and it just complements. It's like a nice flesh pinky nude color that, I don't know, it's just really nice. So blending that in and then using a brush just to detail and make sure that we blend to the edges and none of that lip liner is peeking through too much. And it also gives the lips a nice shine and makes them look very hydrated, and it complements the lip prep that we've already applied at the beginning as well. Blend, 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 and now we are adding on a MAC Cosmetics Clear Gloss, one of my favorites to use just to add some more elevation and shine to the lips. And then we're going to go ahead and curl the lashes before we add on some mascara. I'm actually going to curl my lash as well. I don't do this for all looks. Actually, sometimes I'll do individual lashes just to make my day a little bit easier. I don't know. I find individuals to be easier for me. Maybe I just like them a lot better. And with mascara here, by the way, the Rise mascara from Milk Makeup. But yeah, you're gonna see me curl the lash just to complement the eye as well, and it'll kind of lift it as well. So if you ever get a lash that you feel is just sticking straight out, take that lash curler to the base of the lash and just literally give it a nice curl. Not too much, but yeah, nice couple presses will do the trick for you. All right, and I'm just blending and making sure there are no gaps, using the Colored Rain liquid liner to do that before going in and smoking out the lower lash the lower lash line. Um, Now I'm using some of the black eyeshadow from the palette as well. Not much, but just a little. I'm kind of tight lining. As you can see, it's not smoked out, but there is some impact there in depth. And now we're going in with the bottom mascara, same mascara we use on the top. This is the Rise mascara. Alright, going back in with a little bit of that MAC NC42 just to perfect things even more. And then highlighting the high points using this Kylie Cosmetics highlighter. This actually is a great one as well. I just love how natural, of a highlight it gives the skin. And if you do not highlight your brow bones for full glam, take this as your sorry y'all, I'm literally like watching my own work. Just take this as your note to start highlighting the brow bone. I absolutely love that effect. It gives it a nice lifted effect. Alright, so trimming the lash before curling the lash and making sure that it complements and fits the look. Now this isn't a step I would rush, which is why I like doing it at the very end. And we're just using a bit of duo glue to adhere the lash to her lash line. And then also super important, please make sure there are no gaps between the lash and the lash line. Having that lash tweezer definitely helps blend everything together on the eyes. Going in with a little bit more of that Kylie glow. Now I typically do not highlight a lot, you guys, at all, if even. I just felt like this glam called for it. So we're just going in with a bit of glow before setting the face with the Morphe Continuous Mist. And that handy dandy fan is always good to have to help you set the makeup as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this online workshop. I hope you guys have learned and grasped some knowledge. Definitely stay tuned for more workshops and more tutorials. If you have any suggestions, feel free to shoot me a DM or email, and I would love to pump some more content out for you guys. I'll see you on the next one.